I got a call from my office. I was in San Diego, and they said, man, get to the airport. There's another terrorist alert. Everything's all shut down. You got to be there plenty of in advance. They're going through everybody's bags, and they're taking all the liquids, foams, gels, everything out. So I got to the airport about 4 hours, a little more ahead of my flight. When I got there, they had shut down most of the kiosks and everything, and the airline I was on had 2 people working a counter, and there were 2 huge lines going to that counter. Now, the minute I saw those lines, I got ticked off. How many of you understand the word ticked off, okay? How many of you have ever gotten ticked off, right? Sure. And you say, Brother Gibbs, why did those lines tick you off? I don't like lines. They bug me. And there's 2 of them. And it doesn't matter which one I pick. It'll be the wrong one. How many of you understand the truth of that statement? I get in the line. It's going unbelievably slow. People in the line are mad. Oh, they're cussing. They are so upset. Now, I did not cuss. I did not. But I came real close to saying amen a couple of times, all right? I mean, I'm just, Now, wait a minute. I got one job in that line. My one job at the San Diego airport is to make Jesus look good. That's my one job. But I forgot it. All the devil wants to do is to get you to forget your one job. Because if you don't make Jesus look good, you are standing in the way of sinners. Wow. Took over 2 hours to get to the counter. For 2 hours, I'm in that line. Finally, I get up there, and the lady at the counter, she says, oh, Mr. Gibbs, your flight is in less than 2 hours. I said, I know. Oh, she said, you're never going to make it. You should have come earlier. Now, I got one job at that counter. My one job at the counter is to make Jesus look good. That's my job. That's your job. But I forgot it again. I said, lady, if brains was gasoline, you couldn't prime an ant's motorcycle. This is ridiculous. I said, why don't you? She said, look, you don't need to get mad. I said, oh, I'm not mad. You want to see mad? That's another whole level beyond this. I said, this is ridiculous. She said, well, let me explain. She said, you see that line over there? I said, yeah. She said, that's the line through security. She said, do you see that sign there? I said, yeah. She said, from that sign in is 2 hours, and it's taking over 2 hours for the people in that line to get to that. So you got 4+ hours ahead of you. Whoa. Well, you say, you said, God bless you, right, to her? No. What does it take to make you forget your one job? To make the Son of God look good. You're his ambassador. Whoa. I called my office. I said, get me on another flight. They said, there's not a flight for a week. I said, get me a motel room. They said, there's not a motel room right now on planet Earth. I said, get me a rental car. They said, there's more motel rooms than rental cars. I said, what are you trying to tell me? They said, you're stuck. Now, can I tell you the problem? You know the verse. In everything what? Give thanks. When you forget your one job, you'll quickly forget thanks. It will just evaporate. I said, give me the boarding pass. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, they had a man bridge. I went and got in the line to go through security. I had to go over a man bridge, and it's out in the parking lot, going back and forth, serpentine, and I'm standing out there. Out of nowhere, standing in that line, I hear somebody call my name. Brother Gibbs, Brother Gibbs. And I look up, and here comes a preacher. Now, I don't know his name. I just know his face. And he's coming at me, and this thought went through my mind. Lord, I'm not in the mood to mess with a preacher right now. I'm just not. How many of you understand that one, right? There's just moments when I don't need you right now. This preacher comes up to me. He is absolutely bubbling. Oh, Brother Gibbs, so good to see you, so good to see you. And he's just smiling a mile a minute. And I said, yeah, good to see you too, right? He said, I heard you preach 2 weeks ago. I said, oh, good, good. He said, you remember what you preached on? I said, no, I don't remember. He said, you preached on, this is the day the Lord hath made, and will what, Brother Gibbs? I said, we'll rejoice and be glad in it. Right. Oh, he said, you really blessed my heart. And I'm like, this guy's elevators are not hitting the upper floors. Finally, he looks at me and he said, isn't this great out here? Isn't this great out here? He said, this is so good out here. And I said, what are you talking about? I just lost it. I said, this is a nightmare out here. Oh, he said, you haven't figured it out. I said, I haven't figured what out? He said, all the people in these lines are really upset. I said, yeah, I figured that out. And he said, Brother Gibbs, all they're talking about is should they get on a plane, because what would happen if they got on it and they died? I said, yeah, I've heard a lot of that. He said, these people are all concerned about eternity. This is the best opportunity to witness you'll ever have in your lifetime. He said, watch this. Our line's going this way. There's a line coming this way. He taps on the guy's shoulder, and the guy turned to him, and he said, crazy day, isn't it? The guy said, yeah, crazy day. He said, got to make you should wonder whether you get on a plane or not, because what happens if it goes down? Because, man, if you died, you know. And before the guy could say a word, his wife jumped in. She said, will you talk some sense into my husband's head? I've been telling him, let's get out of here. Neither one of us has any idea what would happen if we died. It's insane to get on a plane right now. Would you tell my husband, let's go home? And the pastor reached in his pocket and he said, I think you're going to be just fine. But he said, I got something I want to give you here. Because he said, one day, whether it's today or many years from today, will be your last day on earth. And he said, I would like to give you this. He went to hand it to him. The guy never got it. His wife snatched it. And she said, I'll read it to him. The next thing baffled me. 4 people that way and 3 people that way said, have you got any more of those? And that preacher said, yeah, I do. And he's handing them out. He turned to me and he said, isn't this great? I said, this is amazing. This is amazing. He said, now, Brother Gibbs, I got some tracts here. I'll give them to you. But he said, we do have a problem out here. I said, what's the problem? He said, your face. I said, my face? Hey, can I remind you, your face is God's billboard. Everybody's reading it and should. That's why God created that beautiful countenance. And he said, you got to fix your face. You look upset like everybody. He said, Brother Gibbs, fix your face and go get them. And he handed me the tracts. Before we got through security, between he and I, we had the privilege of praying with over 60 people. And people kept saying to me, oh, thank you, thank you. And all I could think of is, you need to thank that guy. You see, I forgot my one job. I forgot my one job in life is to make the Son of God look good.